Right. It's a natural law. It's something that happens testably, repeatably for everyone, right? In which you have high pressure, always go to low pressure.
Entropy isn't fundamentally about pressure. You realize that?
No, I know, but I'm stating it for the fact that we have right here, right in the globe claim, right? Because the globe claims that you have a pressurized system next to nearly no pressure. And you think that you're taking a picture from a place that breaks natural law, Cosmos.
Can you explain how it breaks natural law?
Sure, right. Are you breathing right now?
Yes.
Right. So in order to have gas pressure, 14.7 psi roughly, in this dynamic, wonderful system, gas law states that you must have containment, right? V, volume, right? So I ask you, in this globe paradigm that you believe in, and I once believed in too, how do you have gas pressure next to nearly no gas pressure with no container?
By having a force, as you can look up, and any source will provide you to say you need a force exerted. That's what a container does. It exerts a force. So all we need is a force. Do we have a force? Well, I'll throw this vape up in the air. Oh, look. Force. Landed back on the floor. Must be a force. There we go. That's it.
Oh no!
That's as far as we.
What happens when you drop a helium balloon? Or you're saying that gas is containing gas, Cosmos?
What? So when we talk about a helium balloon, what is a helium balloon doing?
Gas, and it's going up, not going down. You just said you threw up air and it went down.
Yeah. Why is it going up?
You tell me. You said gravity holds it down.
Yeah, it does hold it down.
Yeah, but it just went up.
Yeah, gravity's still having an influence.
But you just said it went up. Now you're claiming it down. Which one is it? Is it going down or up?
Yeah, it's going up, but gravity's having an influence.
So what about all the other gas?
Yeah, they're being influenced by gravity.
So are they going all directions or just down? Or
what, as in, are they being pulled towards the Earth? Yes.
So what about clouds? What about evaporation?
Yeah, clouds.
Do those go down or are they going up?
Do they look like they're going down to you?
Right, that's why I'm pretty confused. You keep saying gas is going down, but all this gas is going omnidirectionally. Sometimes up, sometimes down.
Yeah, that's the flow of gas. That's convection for you.
But you just said that we have gas pressure because of this gas going down, but you're in a contradiction because the gas is now going up, Cosmos.
No, I'm not, because it's always being pulled towards the Earth. That's what centripetal force is.
Now that's just begging the question. Centripetal force? You think that the spinning ball is causing the gas to go in? Is that what you just...
That's how it works.
Really?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, please prove that. Go ahead.
What? Prove the Earth is spinning?
Well, that too. I mean, that would be great.
No, prove gravity is holding gas pressure, please.
Yeah, I mean, we're still there, right? I mean...
It's the logical antecedent. What do you mean, prove it?
It's an experiment. Show it.
It's like proving if I piss that.
You're not talking about pseudoscience. If you cannot prove it, gravity is holding gas pressure, you are a moron, okay?
I think the room is well aware, Cosmos, that you don't have any proof for your claim, right? You're trying to claim that this globe
I showed you proof
has
before.
a gas pressurized system, and you're like, it just holds it there.
Yeah,
Even though we have demonstration that shows that against a vacuum, that gravity doesn't hold gas against a vacuum.
I
mean, what are you
literally
going to
showed
do
you.
against that demonstration? Miguel just posted it, Cosmos.
I literally showed
How would you explain that? There's literally a vacuum right
Are
above,
you just
and
talking
the
to
gas
yourself?
goes right up.
Yeah, you're just talking to yourself, Lloyd.
Well, you don't want to address the question, so I mean, I just have to really kind of force myself in there.
Okay, so just talk to yourself then.
Well, you don't want to answer the question, right? Because you know I'm right and you're wrong.
If you were right, you could actually demonstrate it, and you can't. You can't demonstrate it.
Miguel just posted it.
Posted what?
A demonstration.
You have the gas and the vacuum in the other side. What happens when you open the valve? Oh, they mix together. Yeah, your ball earth with some gas pressure around it doesn't work next to a vacuum. So we did show to you. You didn't show the experiment of that gravity holding gas pressure. You know what is gas pressure?
Cosmos, go ahead and show a demonstration of gas pressure without a container. Please, go ahead.
So your demonstration to show gravity on Earth is 2 glass tubes with a valve between them.
Oh,
no. You are a moron. We are talking about gas pressure, okay?
Yeah.
We are talking about gravity.
Yeah,
you are a moron, okay? You cannot prove it.
That's how that works.
Listen, pal. You cannot show to us that gravity holding gas pressure. It's simple, okay? You don't even know what is gas pressure.
It's the most logical antecedent.
No, what is... shut the fuck up with bullshit. What is gas pressure?
Yeah, that you need containment.
Yeah, by gravity.
No. I can post a citation from NASA. You know, gas pressure is the force of the gas molecules colliding with each other and the walls of the container. Okay, you need a container. It's simple. That's gas pressure.
No,
you need a container. Go check what is gas pressure. You are just ignorant. Okay, you are ignorant.
He says the flat earther.
No, it says in the definition what is gas pressure. You moron.
You know we.
You are just ignorant.
And you live on the same Earth. You're actually a flat earther. You're just delusional, and you think you're on a globe.
By the way, guys, how do planes fly?
Don't run away. You know, we did ask to you to don't run away.
How do planes fly?
No, you have to prove it. Show that your gravity holding gas pressure. You have it.
Gravity.
No.
Guys, how do planes fly? How do planes fly?
No. Yeah.
How do planes
Don't run away.
Bottom level they fly. Airport to airport, Cosmos.
No,
you're just ignorant.
And you live on the same Earth. You're actually a flat earther. You're just delusional, and you think you're on a globe.
By the way, guys, how do planes fly?
A flat earther. You're just delusional, and you think you're on a globe.
By the way, guys, how do planes fly?
You're actually a flat earther. You're just delusional, and you think you're on a globe.
By the way, guys, how do planes fly?
Don't run away. You know, we did ask to you to don't run away.
How do planes fly?
No, you have to prove it. Show that your gravity holding gas pressure. You have it. Show the experiment. Show it. You are making bullshit talk. Yeah.
How do planes
don't
fly?
Run away.
Bottom level they fly. Airport to airport, Cosmos.
Right.
Oh,
but you see how you keep having to avoid your globe proof, and you keep going. But what about how do barbecues work on a flat Earth? How do anthills work on a flat Earth?
And what about the bumblebee?
You're really dumb, Cosmos. And you think we're dumb.
I just did post it from NASA. What is gas pressure? You ignorant. Okay? You ignorant. Don't jump around.
Can you calm your friend down?
Well, you just called flat earthers dumb. So, I mean, I think you kind of deserve it, man.
Yeah. Well, they are.
Gas pressure from NASA. Go watch it.
You're on the same Earth, Cosmos.
So, I guess planes don't fly.
Dude.
I guess planes don't fly.
Oh, they do. Gracefully over a flat, non-rotating Earth.
So how do planes fly?
Not on a globe. That's how.
Oh, so planes don't use a difference in pressure.
All we want to do is report on the Wright brothers.
See how you have to move on to something else because you're like, oh man, I can't demonstrate gas pressure without a container. How do planes work?
Yeah, so I can demonstrate gas pressure without a container. So
Oh, good. Let's go back to that point then.
yeah. So when we're talking about
Please
gas
go
pressure
ahead.
without a
I'll go ahead
container,
and mute you, and we'll wait for your demonstration. How about that?
yeah.
You're a waste of time, Cosmos.
If you're gonna sit here and kind of just micromanage the room and, oh, I'm just gonna switch to this topic. No, dude. Especially for a guy who's been here a couple times, dude. Like, I understand, like, completely delusional ones like Luke that are just hilarious, but
I feel like from their perspective, they don't understand how many presuppositions they're making in their whole thought process. And trying to convey all that information in a short period of time is a challenge for any good communicator. So it's frustrating to listen to anyway.
So what do you guys think like the lunar eclipses?
oh, like the Selenilian eclipse?
I don't know.
You know, the Selenilian eclipse, also known as the impossible eclipse, in which you can see the sun and the moon above the horizon. Now I ask you, if it's supposedly supposed to be in this perfect alignment of 180 degree synergy.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean. I just asked you a question, man. You're kind of like dodging. Like, what do you guys think the eclipses are?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Cool guy Jeff, come on, dude. You're
Right,
being
why do you think that like we can
addressed.
predict?
You're
Why do you
being
think, like, we can
directly
predict-
addressed, cool guy.
Oh, he said I don't know.
Hold on, I can answer him. Yeah, well, why do I need to know something that's happening in the sky to know what the
Well, that's
ground
fine. I
is doing?
accept that you said you don't know. What do you think? Like, how do you think? Like, we
Dude,
can
you
predict, like,
asked
Kelly's
about.
phenomenon?
Listen, you asked about lunar eclipses. A lunar eclipse was brought up to
Okay.
you, and you said you don't know.
Well, cool
No, I'm
guy.
asking you-
I don't know why, but do you? Do you know
No,
why
I
the
don't know much about
impossible
eclipses.
clip happens?
Wait, what do you mean impossible stuff? Why would that be impossible?
Well, because, as I was explaining, right, that the alignment, according to the globe paradigm, is that you have the sun, the earth, and the moon, right, all in this perfect alignment. However, during a Selenilian eclipse, you can see the sun and the moon above the horizon, showing that it's not in a perfect alignment, right, in order to quote unquote cast a shadow.
I don't think the
either
view
object.
includes. I don't think the view includes that you can't see that. And actually, I got them confused. I meant a solar eclipse, right? Which happened, I think, probably more often. I don't know. Like, how do you guys explain solar eclipse?
Why do I need to? I didn't make any claims about the solar eclipse.
Well, I'll tell you why. Look, like, so when you do a theory comparison, which is like flat versus globe.
Cool guy Jeff, your explanation of a solar eclipse doesn't really present itself in reality.
It doesn't even work on a globe.
So the solar eclipse is just when. Calm down, dude. So the solar eclipse is just when the moon.
That's your story, dude. This is an explanation. This is a story.
Can you calm down? Yeah, that's what theories are. They're stories of the world.
Yeah, I'm calm. In reality, there is no presence of the moon anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, so something eclipses the sun. There is no silhouette of a moon.
Oh, what are you talking about? Look, all I'm talking about is the thing that happens right in the middle.
Have you ever seen a solar eclipse?
Yeah.
Did you see the moon at any point in time?
Did I see the moon? Sure, it's the thing that eclipses the sun.
Oh, bro.
Are you saying it's something else?
Well, why doesn't it create an eclipse as it approaches the sun? Why doesn't it create a silhouette?
A silhouette? I think it does. I think it partially blocks out the sun.
No, it doesn't. You think wrong. There is no silhouette as it approaches or leaves the sun.
You have to repeat everything.
All right. So when you go outside, how do you experience the Earth? Do you experience it as a globe, or does it just look more practically flat?
Flat. I experience it as flat.
Yeah.
The reasoning for it I have in my mind, the Earth is too big. How do I know the Earth is too big? This is where we go back again and talk about this. how do I know the Earth is too big? And I trust the scientists. But where do those numbers come from? How are those numbers calculated? We've kind of gone through this point, and I haven't really gone through it that much since I was planning on being silent most of the way. Just wanted to observe Yui talk about flat Earth.
No, that's fine.
He's not a flat
But yeah, I
earther,
mean, it
though.
just yeah.
I can't prove anything that I say, like that you guys can undertake yourself, if you know what I mean. Like, Elbow, I got a question for you.
Sure, go right ahead.
All right, what's the most compelling argument you've heard for the global Earth? Like, what's the most compelling one that you've heard, Elbow?
There isn't one actually.
Okay,
And when
everyone says
I went out to actually look for evidence, there isn't.
Elbow, are you a Christian?
That's not here or there. I'm not religious.
Okay, you're not. That's what I actually am curious about that point there. Because you're not religious, what motivates you to believe in a flat Earth?
I don't believe
Science.
that's what it
How
is.
about that?
This is the thing, though.
How about science?
It's not that we don't believe in the flat Earth as we know it is because of the measurements and how water especially
I understand.
water.
I understand.
Listen,
Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
I wasn't done. Water especially is one of the biggest uh, detriment to the globe because water at all points, it always when it's at rest, it's always flat. And they say 70% plus the surface of the earth is water. I've never seen water take a shape other than what is in its container.
Okay.
And then there's observation with laser tests that
Okay, I understand that, Aldo.
maximum. Then one of the maximums one of the maximum length of laser tests was 36 miles, and it's like 700 feet of curvature missing on that one. So 700 to 1,200 feet of curvature.
All right.
So yeah, the Earth is it's in the globe.
All right, Aldo. So you believe in the science, but I want to ask, why do you think
No, I don't
people
believe in
lie about?
science.
I understand the Christian perspective for why.
Aren't science.
Science is in a belief-based.
All right, guys. Okay, semantics a bit here. Okay, you guys know what I mean. Aldo. So, because you're not religious, why do you think people are lying about the Earth being a globe?
Hey, Cull.
Maybe they're the ones that are religious.
Hey, Cull, do you own a telescope or binoculars or have access
I own a telescope,
any sort of zoom? Have you ever taken it down to the shore of a lake or to the beach?
No, I usually look at the night sky with it.
Yeah, I advise you to take it down to the shore and have a look around. See if you can find any of that curve you believe in.
Look, man, I was asking Aldo about the religious thing. I'm curious about that because everyone else
has to do with anything.
I'm about. Hold on, dude. Hold on. That the globe belief stems from actually believing in gods. Comes from Greek mythology.
Yeah, I heard about
Pythagoras
Helios.
Started with Pythagoras. Pythagoras thought that the perfect shape was a ball because of things in the skies looked like balls or whatever. So that he thought that the perfect shape was ball, and we were supposed to be we have to be the same as those things in the sky. So it stems out of a religion.
Okay, but I want to understand why people would lie from a non-religious perspective.
Who lies?
Because everyone else I've spoken to, flat earther, believes that there's a greater intention of lying to make us disbelievers.
Let me ask you this: when you came here and thought that Earth was a globe, were you lying?
The Earth is a globe. I'm not lying.
Right, you believe that, but you're not lying. So those people that taught you, then they don't think they're lying. They got taught the same thing since they were kids.
Okay,
Who was the person that lied about it? Who knows?
I understand that. So you don't think there's an evil intention behind it, Elbow?
100% no. Nope.
Oh, okay, that's a bit different to everyone else's belief.
Welcome to 24/7
everyone?
Flat Earth.
Wow, do you guys argue about this? Like some here.
Against whose belief, dude? Nobody in here is going.
I don't know,
interviewing
bro.
a different room. You've never
There
been
are-
in here asking us.
Bro, look, bro. There are flat earthers that believe that there's evil intentions behind lying about the Earth being a globe.
Name them. Name
I don't
them.
Not a
have to
big
name
issue for us at
anyone.
all.
That's
I don't
why
have to
you're just
name
making-
anyone in
you're
particular. I can have people just reveal
making it up.
themselves right now, bro.
Making it up, dude.
I'm not making it up. Why? Okay, what's your
You
reason for people
are.
lying about the Earth being a flat?
Why are you lying?
Who's lying?
Apparently, like the people in control.
Who?
Who? What? Like, are you telling me the
Who?
countries
Name
of
them.
the world?
Give us a name.
You mean like a person or organizations?
Can organizations lie?
So NASA is lying. Russia's lying. Like all these space
No,
programs
they're-
are all
How does-
lying.
You think
People there are
an
mistaken.
organization can lie?
An organization, the representatives of them can lie.
So who? Who exactly is lying?
I'm not gonna give you names. I don't want to search it up right now, bro. But every scientist that works with satellites, rockets, all those images of Earth you see at the globe, those are all lies right there. And I'm questioning
No way. They're
why
just
they're lying.
mistaken. They have not come to the conclusion we have. We have the measurement of flat Earth.
Like the photos of the Earth is globe. If you search up NASA
What photos?
bro, you've seen those NASA photos.
Which ones?
All right, I'm
Are
sure
they composites or actual photos?
composite. Okay, so they're all composites. All those photos. I know some of the photos are edited for contrast, but are they all composites?
Yeah, the people
Photos.
that compose them think that Earth is a globe. So they take all the pictures they have, they stitch them together, and they make a pretty globe out of it because they believe it's a globe. They don't think they're lying.
What about satellites then?
What about them?
What about them? You know how they
go
work?
around the Earth. They go around the Earth, bro.
How do you know that?
Because I could see them in the sky zooming past. Oh,
I can
you
see
can
Earth
also
I don't
see
know.
the
They
Eyes-
just,
ISS.
eyes
just
that
don't
they're
move
going
parallel
around
to the
the Earth.
surface.
Yeah.
How do you know they're going around?
They go around, bro. Like if you look at one spot, ISS like rotates like how often around the Earth? Like 9 hours or something. I don't know
You've seen the
exact
ISS rotate?
not road like go around the Earth. Yeah, I've seen the ISS in the sky before.
You've seen it traverse the sky. How do you know it's
Yeah.
just not traveling parallel to the surface?
I don't know.
So
I
you
see it.
haven't seen it
whatever
go
it is.
If I
around.
wait
then.
there long enough, another part of the world will see it, like within a few hours.
And
So it's obviously going around, and if I wait long enough, it goes around.
no, we all just see it moving parallel to the surface.
Yeah. The fan blades on my ceiling fan go around and around and around.
So you believe there's people on the ISS?
I don't know. Probably not. Maybe there
What,
is.
there's videos of
You
them.
do.
What difference would it make?
That's the important thing. Is
No,
you
no,
do.
no.
Oh,
No,
Once I
nobody's
bring up the
on
ISS, you guys like
dude.
are saying, how do you know there's people on
Nobody's
the
on
in
it.
space?
Nobody's on
You
it.
guys say shit like that.
all right. You're
Nobody is
getting
on
out.
it.
No, the greater point is it doesn't matter. So what if there are people on inside a tin can way above the Earth? So what?
They can see the Earth as a globe from out there.
Oh, they can really
Can't they?
because one of them, Chris Hadfield, was an astronaut who claims to have been up there. He said the Earth looks flat and beautiful.
Wow. Who's he?
Yeah, Chris Hadfield is a Canadian astronaut on the ISS. He's actually quite famous. He's on TV a lot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
like,
I'm sure right now
if you
people are
stay in
digging
the
up
ISS
quotes.
If you stay in the ISS long enough,
Yeah, he was up there a long
you
time.
can't see the whole Earth, can you? Like you can only see like parts.
Oh,
of
so
it.
now you can't see the globe from the ISS? I thought you said you could.
No, like, you go to the other side of the Earth and
Just
like
move the goalposts, why don't you?
no,
further.
I'm not moving any goalposts, bro. I'm just staying my thoughts right now. So like you can go around in the
If you fly in a
ISS.
giant magical condor, you can also see everything.
Yeah, we give you the ISS and you still can't prove a globe with it. What's wrong with that?
Okay. Well, what about the sun then? the sun, the horizon.
You think that's going to be easier than the ISS?
I've already succeeded. So you guys conceded that there are men on the ISS. That's an achievement.
No, I said no. There's nobody on it. It's a studio.
Well, why are they lying then about that, Dr. PSI PhD?
To entertain.
Was he lying when he said it looks flat?
They're lying.
The guy on the ISS, was he lying when he said it looked flat?
No, he probably was telling the truth. It does look flat from his perspective. I can imagine it does.
So what's your
moon looks flat? The moon looks flat from my perspective.
He's starting to spiral.
He's a flat mooner.
All right. So like when I'm sitting at the shore, I see the sun like dip, bro. I see it dip below the horizon. Explain that.
So is your claim that the sun at the horizon is being obscured by the curvature of the Earth? Is that what the horizon is?
Yeah, bro.
How far away is that from, say, you're standing at the shore?
No, dude, that's your claim.
How far away is it?
I don't know.
Dude, get your notes in order.
You should really take your telescope down to the beach, have a look, try and work it out.
To go to sleep after an hour of arguing, All right, let's go back to the discussion. So I see a dip, bro. I see a dip.
You really should take your telescope down and have a look for yourself.
You're telling me the sun doesn't dip? Doesn't go away? Doesn't disappear?
Wait, hang on. Does it go away or does it dip? I mean, these are two different.
Oh my god! Now
descriptions
you're playing with words. You're playing with words over here. This is how you.
Right. So you're trying to describe something you see. How else are you going to describe it? You're going to use words.
Goes under the horizon.
Under the horizon. Not just away.
No, not away. It goes under, bro.
Okay. So what distance from standing down on the beach and you're looking out? How far away is the
there a
horizon?
number I'm supposed to know for this?
Well, I mean, you know the claim of the size of the globe, so from that you can work out the rate of curvature to the surface, and from that you could work out what your curved horizon is, right?
But how do you explain the sun dipping?
Dipping? I don't ever claim it dips. It just goes away.
It just goes. Shouldn't it get smaller then in the sky? Like the light should slowly get dimmer. Like not dimmer, like it's smaller. Like you know what I mean? Like it looks like it's getting dimmer and dimmer and then goes away. But it shouldn't go under the horizon. It should just go smaller, if you know what I mean. Like just
right. You can go zoom in. You can go zoom in on the. So to your eyes, your naked eyes, you can see the sun start to be obscured, and it can appear to you like it's being cut off by the horizon. But you can get a zoom lens out, and it's still there, still a ball.
It's still a ball the entire way through.
The sun, it just moves over the top of the surface of the Earth. That's all it does. It just cruises around.
Wait, are you telling me it's a ball, the entire sphere?
Well, I don't know if it's a ball.
If none of it's obstructed, if I zoom into it, I can see the entire shape the entire time.
Yeah, sometimes. Eventually it goes so far away you can't zoom in into it.
But
the idea that it goes below the surface, that's absurd.
But it's such a big object.
How big is it?
Isn't it like 100 moons, like Earth's apart or something? Like 1,000
moons.
How did you get that number? What's the basis for the belief in the size of the sun?
How did I get that number, bro? I saw like Bill Nye talk about it or something like that, bro, once.
Right. So you don't really know the details?
Bro, I don't think anyone you speak to knows the details initially until they really get investigated.
It's a calculation based on a bunch of assumptions, right?
Bro, I don't memorize calculations with things I don't go argue.
And I'm not asking you to. I'm telling you what's going on. So it's an assumption based on a bunch of calculations. The first number they assume is the radius of a sphere Earth. So they start with the assumption that the Earth is a sphere. That's the first number they use in order to calculate the size and distance. And so once you've proven that the surface doesn't curve, then you know the Earth is not a sphere and therefore it doesn't have a radius. So any calculations that get you to a sun size and distance, they're meaningless.
Okay.
We don't know what the size, distance. We don't even know what the sun is.
Why don't we know what the sun is with all the technology we got?
How would you go about proving what the sun is?
just get some data, this, that. Like you see what energy is coming from it, like what materials
Just
are coming off.
have a look at it and make some
In chemistry, what's the chemistry called again? Like if you can just tell what the material is from the light it emits, is the name like spectrometry or something like that?
Spectros.
I know what you're trying to say. I was trying to say a spectrometer. All right, I'll concede that. I know what you're trying to say. Can't we do that with the sun?
You have to make assumptions about what's between you and the sun. Real spectroscopy is done in a laboratory settings. Spectroscopy.
Yeah.
So that's
you're not putting the sun in a test tube.
Form of that is done in a laboratory.
Bro, I'm gonna
put the
pull
sun in a laboratory.
Well, like I don't know. I think there's probably like powerful enough equipment we got in space that can do it. Not to put in like a test tube.
Probably, maybe. Yeah, sure, okay, maybe.
All right.
Is that the basis of your belief? Sure, maybe, okay.
Basis of my belief?
Yeah.
Look,
believe in a sphere Earth.
Look, endless, bro. If you're asking me to argue globe Earth, I'm not the best representative out there, like for the best defender of this belief, bro. Not belief.
You came in here with all sorts of
I did not come in here.
And beliefs.
I came in here actually, but I did not come in here to argue. I came in here to watch my boy Yui argue.
Okay, but do you see now that it's a belief system, Cull? Is that clear to you now after the conversation?
Beliefs can be true. Beliefs can be true.
Yeah, but do you understand you're still in the stage of
wrong too, though, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I understand. Like I'm telling you, I'm not a good representative.
In the right direction.
Like, I don't want to argue in bad faith.
I know. So why did you say the sun is 100 moons?
No, that was a mistake. It's 100 Earths, bro. Like, it's 1,000 Earths.
How many marbles is it?
Bro, like,
it's 93 million miles away, man.
I saw it in the Bill Nye thing when I was a kid, bro.
Yep. Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, that should raise a red flag.
I'm just trying to understand, like, why would they lie? Like you telling me they're all ignorant? They're not lying purposely. It's all by mistake.
Have you ever asked a liar why they lied?
But it's everyone.
Great place to seek for the truth from the liars. Which you haven't even really pointed it out. You've just said vaguely, "Oh, they're lie." What lie? All the original liars are gone.
I mean, like, you got space organizations out there. There's people in them. They all operating off the fact that the Earth is a globe.
They all look at computer screens.
Can I tell you an anecdote about... So there was an interview with some people who worked in the ground control at NASA. They said, our simulations are so good, we can't tell the difference between the real missions and the fake missions.
That's good, actually, then. Like, I understand the point you made. Like, how do we know it's not a simulation? But that's a develop to that point. No?
What I'm saying is...
Before that point...
Most of the people involved just believe it.
So there's no bad faith actors out there? There's nothing malicious?
Might be. How would we prove that? You could speculate about it, but to what end? What we can prove is that the ground's not curved. And if the ground's not curved, it's not a ball.
Oh. Alright, what's the best experiment I can do that's not involved in using the bathtub or something?
Take your telescope down to the beach.
Endless, wallah, bro. I'll go to the end of the beach. I'll bring a telescope. But I swear, if you're wasting my time, I'm not going to do anything.
This is the first thing I did when I started taking this topic seriously. I took my telescope down and I panned my telescope along the horizon, noted the distances between the things I could see, and then I compared it to the calculations for surface curvature for the sphere Earth. It does not line up. There is no curve. It ain't blocking anything. I can see for 40, 60 kilometers along the surface.
How about like those boats that disappear off the horizon? Like you see them like get smaller and like
take your telescope and watch a boat sail away, and work out the distances. Use some physical objects that you know the distance to, and just really contemplate about what the claim is. Because boats don't go under the horizon; they just sail away.
Yeah, but like, I see like videos of them like going over the horizon and stuff. Like,
have you seen the videos of them when they get a zoom and they zoom back into them and they're just there again?
Yeah, I think I've seen them, but like some of the bottom part.
So what's going on there?
Gone? Well,
I mean, usually there's a bit of waves and stuff in between you and the boat. A wave could probably obscure the bottom of a boat pretty easily. But at what distance are we talking about? Because if that's happening 30 miles away when you're at sea level, there ain't no curve there.
Well, like, how much of the object is removed by the curve? Like, when it starts to curve, like, how much of the object is gone?
There is no curve.
What's the theory right now? It's like an 8 centimeter drop, apparently. Like, I've been told like that.
8 inches per mile squared.
8 inches per mile. Okay. But that's a really small amount, though. I imagine that's if you're lying down.
No, it's not linear. It's a curve, so it increases.
Okay, exponential sort of. Okay.
At a square function.
Okay, it's just exponential. Okay.
It's a curve. Right? You know what a curve is, right?
Yes. But okay. I kind of want to go now to the beach and see it's a telescope.
You got an inverted graph, right? A quarter circle, and you're at one end of it. That curve is an exponential. Like, so you're standing on the top of a ball, that quarter circle to the equator, that drop to the equator is an exponential function.
Well, like, looking at photos right now. Just want some photos with a sunset. All right, this is what I've been curious about before as well. Those are some good points you mentioned. Like, just to go out there and observe for myself. I've kind of got interested in that. One point, I've asked a few times for a model you guys have of the Earth. I've been curious to know what sort of model there is out there. Like, you know how you got the globe Earth model? Like, how's the flat Earth model?
What you mean in the sense of like a toy model, like a model car?
Yeah, like imagine like there's globe Earth you get, like there's one that's spinning around like a ball. What's the flat Earth
accurate?
No, not usually accurate. I imagine, like in terms of the size of the countries and all that. Maybe, not too sure. But I'm kind of curious, like what do you guys propose as a flat Earth model instead?
Are you asking what the layout of the continents is?
Look, bro, you're always going on with the semantic stuff. You know what I mean, bro. The layout. Give me the layout.
I'm trying to clarify what you're asking.
Brother, you know what I'm talking about from the second I say it. Give me the layout.
No, because you use the word model.
Wrong word. You're using map and model interchangeably. They're not interchangeable.
All right, give me a layout of what the Earth would look like. And a map too.
How would we go about mapping the entire surface of the Earth?
Are you telling me we're incapable of doing that in the 21st century?
No, I'm asking a map.
How would we do that?
Like from where, bro? From where?
From where what? Give me a map.
Look, what does it look like from where? Like, what perspective are you looking at it from? That matters, you know.
All right, you have to break this down into layman terms, bro. Like, what do you mean exactly? Perspective, looking at a map.
Okay, so say you have a house, right? You look at it from one angle, it looks like one thing, and then you look at it from another angle, it looks like another thing.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, so you're asking for two different things, right? You're asking for what it looks like, and you're also asking for an orthographic drawing of the layout of everything. Those are two different things.
All right, give me both then.
No one knows both. No one even knows one.
No one knows.
Yeah, no one knows.
I guess what I like about you guys, you don't claim to know things until you see it.
We know no one knows.
You know no one knows.
Yeah,
Why is that?
because the attempts to survey based upon, okay, so you survey the land, right? And then you try to map them to a coordinate system. So right
Yeah.
now they map it to the celestial sphere. And it doesn't match up. And to get it to match up, they have to do things like assume curved plumb lines. You know
So
what a plumb line is, right?
you can't work past that problem? Like, there's no workaround?
Well, then how do you determine horizontal?
It's just horizontal, cuz. Like, it's not vertical, it's horizontal.
Relative to what?
How relevant? I don't know, to the
The plumb line, right?
Go up a bit to the ground.
So if you take a weight and you hang it on a string, that's a plumb line. Okay, in the globe Earth model to get it to work, you have to assume they assume plumb lines are curved. That if you take a weight and hang it on a string, that string is curving, dude. Because the celestial sphere, that coordinate doesn't match up to your. That's
Is
why
there
I
a
said
solution to this?
Is there what?
Is there like a solution to this?
What do you mean is there a solution? That is the solution.
Alright, then go navigate the Earth. I'm kind of curious.
That's the solution. That's the solution to the ground not matching the celestial sphere.
So we can never navigate this Earth and map it out or something?
No, we can navigate. Okay, we can navigate using the stars. The
You
stars,
can
not the
navigate.
Earth.
Okay, the stars.
Yeah, not the Earth, the stars.
So, like, there's no theories what the Earth model is, like the layout.
Theory? We don't do
Like
theories.
a theory.
We don't
But
do
like,
theories.
you gotta first make a theory, and then you go on prove or disprove it, bro. Like a hypothesis. Like, what do you guys hypothesize?
No, we can just measure what the Earth is, and that's what it is.
And you guys are content with that? Like, that's it?
We can just measure what the Earth is and know what it is. Just like I can look at a table, and then I can measure it and know its dimensions. I don't need a theory about it being a square, or a rectangle, or a circle, or anything.
Like,
I can just measure it and know.
Wouldn't it be nice, like, for your kids to see,
Of
like,
course
the
you're not going to
model?
trust what I said, dude, because it just blows up your entire rhetoric.
So I know one model is that there's an ice wall around the entire edge of the Earth.
Here comes the infinite regression fallacy.
Like, I've seen a model like that. Do you guys believe something similar to that or no?
That doesn't work.
And it's also not a model.
Bro, oh my god. Layout, what do you call it, bro? Please, don't do my head in about these words. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. Models are for phenomenon. Okay, so if you want to know when the sun comes up, that's a model.
Okay.
So that's for phenomenon, Earth.
So what's the word I'm looking for right now? So I can use it. What's the word I'm looking for? Map. Okay, what map do you guys have?
Well, it depends.
Oh my. What's the biggest map you got that shows most of the land mass, bro?
Not all maps are flat, right?
Yes, Australian guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good.
All right, so show me a flat map.
Show us a curved one.
Every map is flat. What are you talking about?
Well, like, how can you go, like, around the Earth then in the flat map?
In a circle.
In a circle. I want to see that circle then. Show me.
All the world was discovered using flat Earth principles, man. That's how we navigate.
All right. But show me like a. I don't want a map. How can I show you guys something? Do you guys know what I want? Surely you guys know what I want.
Yeah.
I'm talking about as
We
well.
all want it too, but it doesn't exist.
Why doesn't it exist?
Because we don't have billions of dollars to confirm all this stuff.
But if all of you work together, all of you just work together.
It does to a degree. It exists to a degree, right? So if you use like the public land survey system, the entire U.S. has been mapped out in a Cartesian coordinate system in large parts of Europe. But worldwide, this Cartesian coordinate system, where you're not assuming a sphere, it's not a worldwide endeavor. So to fill in the blanks, what the whole world does, we would need billions of dollars.
Okay. I understand. Okay. Do we know what the
Doesn't make any
moon is at
difference,
least?
though, right?
Do we? No, it doesn't make a difference.
How would we know? How would we know what the moon is?
Okay, I just wanted to know. I really want to gauge what we think and what we do not think. So, is anything about space we can confirm?
If it was an ever-expanding region of near-perfect vacuum, all the air we're breathing right now would expand into it and would all be dead.
Yes.
So we know it's not a vacuum above our heads.
The magnetic sphere keeps the atmosphere together.
You want to cite that?
Oh my! Oh, all right. Let me look it up. Give me a second.
I mean, you can just be talking about the solar winds sloughing off as parts of the.
Brother, you're making me like I'm pretty retarded, bro. Okay, let me.
Well, then why are you bringing up? Like, why are you focusing on these?
Let me cite this up.
You're asking questions about topics that you admittedly don't understand.
Because, like, I gotta get some idea what you guys believe.
Right.
Space is
not
fake.
A belief.
How's that? Space is fake. Start with that one.
Okay.
A vacuum.
Okay, the idea is that it's not a vacuum. Because with a vacuum, all the atmosphere just gets sucked into it.
Not sucked. The high pressure always expands into areas of low pressure.
Yeah, I understand that.
So if the claim is that there's an near infinite low pressure region, we are breathing pressurized gas, that's incompatible. I don't know what the limits, or if there are limits in any direction, not out into the distance, not up, not down. But I do know that there can't be a giant vacuum beyond the sky. It's debunked by natural law.
You keep asking us or saying, like, I'm trying to figure out what you guys believe, but it's not about what we believe because we don't have any beliefs concerning this. We used to have a belief, the globe belief. That globe belief was falsified. So now we don't have a replacement belief for you.
Sorry, we know it sucks.
Okay. But back to the atmosphere. I looked it up. Apparently just the gravity is strong. That's why we can keep the atmosphere together.
That's the claim.
I thought it was magnetic field. That's why Mars doesn't have an atmosphere.
You're conflating a couple of different ideas. The idea is that solar winds, that our magnetosphere protects us a certain amount from solar winds.
And the solar winds is what destroys the atmosphere. I get it. The magnetic sphere protects us against the solar winds.
Right. It would strip away the topper layers, and then you'd gradually lose more and more, and yada yada.
Yeah, that was my bad. I was a bit retarded there. Okay,
yeah, that's the story we don't believe in. Like, that's the story you believe in.
Oh, okay. So, the gravity keeps the atmosphere together. That's the answer there, bro.
You demonstrate gas being contained.
Bro, I can't even prove why I breathe air, okay? I can't even prove that. They want to prove that gravity keeps the atmosphere together?
Well, let's just say this. No one has thus far provided us a practical demonstration of gas being contained by gravity. We've been asking for years. No one.
How do you make gravity, bro?
You have all the gravity you need. You're supposed to be on the Earth where the gravity is strongest. Remember?
You think that gravity pulls air to a ball, yet gases are not pulled down when I'm sitting right here and like I let a helium balloon go. It doesn't get pulled to the ground because it's so strong at the Earth's surface. Where it's the strongest is all the way farthest you can get from Earth, and then it's super strong and it pulls on gas. Is that correct?
Can you repeat that? Sorry, I was just
Is gravity stronger at the center of Earth or at the moon?
Gravity should be stronger at the center of the Earth.
Okay, so gases are not being pulled down by gravity then.
Why wouldn't they be pulled down if the gravity is pulling them towards the Earth?
There would be puddles of gas all over the place. Instead, it just expands to fill the available volume. There isn't like layers of gas.
But isn't it like layers of atmosphere? And like each atmosphere layer has like a different.
Made up story.
Oh,
made
Yeah,
up.
we have a pressure gradient, and we have gas generation at ground level. All the gas is generated on the Earth, and then it rises up. It's hottest at the ground level as well, and heat increases pressure of gas. And then as the gas rises, expands to fill the available volume, it cools. Cooling lowers the pressure of the gas, and then eventually it cools so much that it condenses again and creates the gas cycles, or like the water cycle, and
nitrogen
there's so many cycles. Okay, but that means there's gas being extracted from the system above. So now you have a pressure gradient. The gas laws don't actually show that gravity is holding gas down. That's just not shown in the gas laws.
okay. Can you repeat that last part with the gas laws?
Yeah, gravity is independent of the standard model.
Okay. So
gravity and gas law.
So there's no gravity, the idea?
In gas law.
There's no attraction in the kinetic molecular theory. There's no attraction between gas molecules. Gas moves randomly and freely in all directions, not just down.
Gas molecules
that
bounce
is true,
off
but
each
the Earth exerts the greatest gravity in the nearest region we have, like in terms of like the space.
That's the belief. We don't see the effect of that on gas. For instance, if gas could prevent gas expansion, or if gravity could prevent gas expansion into a volume, you would not be able to exhale without bending over.
What?
Because when you breathe, there's more pressure in your lungs when your lungs contract, and so the air expels out of your body because there's less pressure outside. If gravity were preventing that pressure mediation, holding the gas inside like a container, you would not be able to exhale. You would have to bend over to allow the gravity to stop preventing the gas from expanding.
Okay.
Yeah, so your world is just incompatible with reality.
Has anyone been able to explain this? Like someone more knowledgeable than me?
No, they don't claim that gravity holds it down like this. They claim it's so weak that they don't really notice any measurable effects here on the Earth, but somewhere out in outer spaceland, Narnia, magic works, and that's where it stops.
Maybe we just adapted so well to these conditions.
Wow.
You've adapted to the lies, my friend.
You just gotta realize that this is a belief system that you were sold, and at its foundation, it just doesn't have any validity. You need to just divorce this belief system and realize that you don't have any investment in this. It's not doing anything for you. It's not giving you anything. It's just putting you into a box where you think this is the only possible option.
But I feel like if you believe in flat Earth, you start investing more into this idea and your life becomes more absorbed around this idea too. I live my life knowing the Earth is a globe, and I don't really care. That's why I don't really know.
You don't know the Earth is a globe, though. You don't actually know that.
I live my life believing the Earth is a globe, and I go willy dilly and all that.
So basically, you made a social consideration for your beliefs. Socially, it's better to believe in the globe than flat Earth, so I'm going to believe in the globe. Congratulations.
Okay, but you mentioned letting go of this belief, but I feel like you take on more burden believing in a flat Earth. And you get no benefit from it.
The problem is we're not believing in flat Earth. You don't have to believe anything. All you got to do is look at the evidence and come to the conclusion that the evidence stands. Reality is how reality is. I don't need to imagine some fantasy stuff and be afraid that an asteroid's going to come kill me.
Why do you guys make this equivalence between flat Earth and the globe like that? Like that we're believing things. No, we experience a flat Earth. That's the way the Earth presents itself to us. Now, to believe in the globe, you have to say that all of that is an optical illusion. That it just
you start investing more into this idea, and your life becomes more absorbed around this idea too. I live my life knowing the Earth is a globe, and like I don't really care. That's why I don't really know
you
much.
don't know the Earth is a globe, though. You don't actually
I live
know
my
that.
life believing the Earth is a globe, and I go willy dilly and all that.
So
But
basically, you made a social consideration for your beliefs. Socially, it's better to believe in the globe than flat Earth, so I'm going to believe in the globe. Congratulations.
okay, but you mentioned letting go of this belief, but I feel like you take on more burden believing in a flat Earth. And you get no benefit
No, the problem is we're not believing in flat Earth. You don't have to believe anything. All you gotta do is look at the evidence and come to the conclusion that the evidence stands. Reality is how reality is. I don't need to imagine some fantasy stuff and be afraid that an asteroid's gonna come kill me.
Why do you guys make this equivalence between flat Earth and the globe like that? Like that we're believing things. No, we experience a flat Earth. That's the way the Earth presents itself to us. Now, to believe in the globe, you have to say that all of that is an optical illusion. That it just looks flat, but it's actually curved. Hence, an optical illusion. And you have to believe that you live in an environment which is just continuously tricking your senses.
But there are instruments out there that can measure it. Like it's like how there's oxygen in the air, but I can't see it, I can't feel it. But I know there's oxygen in the air. You know what I mean?
Instruments out where?
And you can feel it. So stop that.
How can you feel oxygen, bro?
Wind.
Wind. That could be anything in that wind.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, he's a moron.
It could be anything. Oxygen doesn't have to be wind, bro. It could be like nitrogen and like stuff like that.
There's definitely no fucking oxygen wind coming out of your gullet.
Like
yeah, we can go through the steps required to figure out what oxygen is out of the air. That was achieved, and that's how we know that oxygen is oxygen. We can do that in real life. That's not a problem. We don't need any imaginations.
There are instruments, man. They can prove the Earth is a globe.
Okay, which ones?
Which ones?
You guys know of them already. I'd imagine you guys.
Oh, really? No, we actually don't.
How do you expect me to know these, bro?
It's your claim.
No,
you just said that there's instruments.
You gotta disprove it. You gotta disprove it yourself. You're Galileo right now, bro. You gotta like prove the entire people in the system and all that.
Okay. I'll help you. Okay.
Yeah,
I understand. You think there's instruments that prove it? I know what the instruments are. Okay. They don't actually prove it. I know they don't actually prove it. They're called sticks.
What?
Yeah, that's your instrument.
What's the stick?
It's the classic.
Yeah, stick, dude.
Original and best.
Okay.
That's how they figured out the Earth was a globe, man. They stuck a stick in the ground, brother.
And saw a shadow like a fucking groundhog.
All right. I keep asking
6 more weeks of curve.
I keep asking this question.
You think we're kidding? You think we're kidding? We're not kidding.
You mean like the sticks? Those are our best experiment? We have sticks?
Yeah, that's your best experiment.
That's your best experiment.
Our best experiment? That's our best. That's our best experiment?
Yeah, the best. And it's
so if I was ChatGPT right now, what's a good experiment?
Yeah, stop using ChatGPT.
It's top 10.
Flat
top 10 proof.
That's a flat earthers call that stick a sundial.
That's based, but like, so you're telling me sticks made everyone
sticks and shadows? Top 10 proof of globe. Sticks and shadows. Top 10 belief.
No, that didn't make everybody believe. That was just the best proof. An instrument to prove the Earth is a globe. That's what you were talking about, instruments to prove the Earth is a globe. However, what actually made people believe was fallacious reasoning and rhetoric.
Okay, then why do people defend it so badly then, if it's all fake?
They believe it so badly.
Like, what's there to gain in believing it and not believing in it, bro?
It's trick. Well, you just said it yourself.
Bro, I don't care about tradition, bro. You got people going around naked nowadays.
You just said it yourself. You made it social consideration. You just said it yourself, dude.
Look, you are right. Like, if I was believing flat Earth, I feel like everyone would look at me crazy and all that. I'm never gonna get a wife.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody believes it because everybody else thinks everybody else believes it, and they think that if they say, "Hey, I don't believe it," that they're going to be ostracized, which is correct, right? So it's a tradition. It's like being the only Muslim in a Christian country. You're going to catch shit.
That's true.
Look, the globe is a religion, dude. Like, you haven't figured it out. The globe is a religion.
You think you don't get married if you're a flat earther? That's a strange one.
Hey, bro, I go to church and, like, most people know globers, and I think as soon as I say a flat Earth, I'm gonna get ostracized, bro. They think I'm a weird.
So what? You're gonna stand for truth. You're gonna say, "Hey, I like the Earth looks flat, and I trust my senses," and they're gonna go, "You fucking idiot! You trust your senses? What's wrong with you?"
But, like, our senses are designed to keep us alive, are they not? Like,
Designed?
Yeah, God created us, bro.
And you know why God designed our senses?
I assume He gave us senses like smelling, touch, feeling.
Okay, so the senses.
Do you think God gave you senses that lie to you?
So the senses inform you that the world is flat and stationary, and God gave you these senses. So, what's the problem?
There's no problem. The sense is not the problem. The senses, I cannot tell the Earth is. I can tell the surface is flat. I'm walking on right now.
But we have
but
video
the senses don't go beyond. The senses don't go beyond, like,
look in the side chat.
Yeah, but God, do you think God created a world which you couldn't discern His creation, and He created a world that would trick your senses on purpose? That sounds like Lucifer, not God.
Look, bro, the senses. Like, I appreciate the fact you're a Christian. I always like seeing that.
No, but the point is like, what are they going to ridicule you for? Believing your own senses? How absurd is that?
Bro,
you believe your own senses? You're fucking crazy. That's why I get a kick out of it. You flat earthers are delusional. Oh, so I see the earth is flat, and I actually believe that, so I'm delusional, even though you see the earth is flat and think that's an optical illusion.
But the Earth is greater than us, like, in terms of, like, the size, and you can't sense beyond that. Like, he sense right now the wind outside here, I guess. But, like, can you sense something outside beyond your periphery, or even sound, like ears or something? Can you sense that?
The claimed size of the globe is really not as big as you think it is. If it was the globe they claimed, it would be immediately obvious.
But, okay, I shouldn't have brought that up, but, like, I know the senses argument, we always bring up the senses, but
it's because that's the base axiom. That's where you start from. So,
look,
if we observe a flat surface and we don't detect any motion, it's up to them to prove that the ground is curved and spinning. It's not on us to prove anything.
I understand that point. I actually do. I believe I should be proving the physical.
Let me ask you this. Is this a valid methodology of inquiry? Assume the Earth is a globe, then look for evidence to support that.
Yes.
Really? So let's assume the Earth is a pretzel. So that's called confirmation bias and cherry picking.
Okay. You'd first assume what you see from your reality.
No, that's not an assumption.
All right, you'll build off your.
You say, hey, look, this is the way it presents itself. Okay, someone comes along and says, well, it presents itself that way, but it's not really that. It's something else. Okay, now provide the evidence for that.
Okay.
Is that unreasonable?
No, it's not unreasonable. I imagine I went to a tribe of people that didn't really know the Earth is a globe. They're like, hey, the Earth is flat. I'm walking on flat ground. You got to prove to me the Earth is a globe. And I have to start proving it. Yeah, it's sensible. If you have diverse senses and what you see, you go upon a man that's seen nothing at all. You tell him the Earth is a globe. Does that? Yeah, of course
How
you
would you?
think you're crazy.
Yeah, they're gonna chase you out of that fucking village, dude.
Yeah, how would you like? Say you went to one of these uncontacted tribes into the Amazon rainforest. They're like, we think the Earth is flat. How would you convince them the Earth is a globe?
Oh, bro, like, wallah, cuz you being honest with me, I'll be honest with you, bro. Like, I got no idea. So I'll be like, hey, I'll show you this photo on Google real quick. Let me go Google images real quick. Let me go Google images. Let me go. I'll show them the photo of the
Yeah.
Earth.
The real question is,
You're going to show them a photo of the Earth.
Hell yeah, brother.
So
Bro, that
I'm going to
I can show them a photo of anything, they'll believe it.
So no, they won't. That's you. That's literally you.
What do you mean, bro? If I show them a photo of a car turning into a transformer, they'll think it's real, despite it being animated.
No.
If I show you a picture of Bigfoot, are you going to believe in Bigfoot?
Look, if I show a random tribal person there's a massive monkey on this earth roaming that's also like semi-intelligent, they're gonna believe it, bro.
No, they won't.
Like a tribal person.
Why?
Okay,
Why would they believe a little drawing?
Bro, they believe like in basic witchcraft shit, man. They're gonna believe in that. Don't worry.
No, they don't. Like, listen, there's a tribe called the Purahai people in the Amazon. They only believe things which either they experienced or, like, if someone tells them a story, that person experienced. They don't believe third-hand information. They're empiricists. They've been called super empiricists because they have to deal with the natural and physical world all the time, constantly.
But isn't that a flaw then?
How is that a flaw? Is it a? You believe pictures that you can't verify. They wouldn't. You're saying they would, dude. You're saying they're more. No, but you're saying they're more gullible than you. No, they're not.
I bet I can make them believe in like random shit. If you put one in front of me, I bet my left nuts.
No, they actually don't, dude. That's your Western arrogance. They actually don't believe that shit.
Find your head on a
Have
stick.
you met one before to even notice?
Okay, so there's a guy that lived with this Purahai tribe. He was a Christian missionary. He sat there and proselytized them for 2 years. Basically telling them about, and they were all coming to his little freaking sermons that he was having, yada, yada, yada. And after 2 years, they asked him, well, have you met this Jesus? And he was like, no. Do you know anybody that met him? He's like, no. And then they all stopped coming.
That's why it's a flaw, bro. Like, I don't gotta meet Jesus, man. Like, I don't gotta meet Julius Caesar to know he existed, if you know what I mean.
You don't know he existed.
No, you can believe he existed.
I can believe Julius Caesar existed. I can believe Queen Elizabeth existed, but I never met Queen Elizabeth.
Well, you know Queen Elizabeth existed. She's contemporary to your
better. I only seen her on like YouTube, on like the news articles.
Because she's contemporary to your own existence.
You know your great-grandfather existed? Did you meet your great-grandfather?
But I don't know, Queen Elizabeth
And he didn't exist.
Why not Queen Elizabeth is AI, bro?
You know your great-grandfather condition because that's a necessary condition for you existing.
Yes, but Queen Elizabeth isn't
exactly. That's my point.
But Queen Elizabeth isn't necessary. She be made up.
She could be.
So like this empiricism, like absolute empiricism, isn't really that good. Like it's not a bad model. It's not a bad model.
Fuck the science. Fuck science then, dude. Because science is 100% based upon empiricism. It's based upon it was based upon empiricism.
You are right. Most of the studies are
all of them. You can't do science without an experiment.
I mean, most of what's called science is not actually science. So I mean, you're treading into muddy waters here.
All right. So back to the topic at hand. So, what's the layout of the Earth? Like, you show me like a model.
We've done this one. Are you in the? Are you looking at the side chat?
Wait, what's the side chat? Let me check real quick.
Yeah, he completely reset Indio.
Wait, what's the side chat?
We walked out of the village and walked back in, and all the scripts went back to the fucking beginning.
How to open the side chat?
No, I just opened it now. Sorry.
That's all right.
What are these maps, bro? This is pretty cool looking. I like the art in this one. Endless posted some nice. Looks like.
Those are called runline networks.
What's a runline network? Can you explain that to me?
Flat line.
What's it do
lines.
exactly?
It's how they mapped. One of the ways of mapping the surface. How they navigated.
That's actually really smart.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Can you make a map without a coordinate system?
Hell nah. Can I? I don't think I can, bro.
Okay, so you need a coordinate system. Now, one of the features of any coordinate system is how the points relate to each other and where the origin of that coordinate system actually is. The starting point, the 0, 0, 0, right? And how you fix that determines what the map will look like. So if I use something like a polar coordinate system or a spherical coordinate system, and I try to draw a straight line, it's impossible because a straight line is not expressible in that coordinate system. It's not expressible. It can't exist.
Do you have evidence?
Because a property of a sphere is equidistant from the center. And if you have a line, straight line, and a point, every point on that line can't be equidistant from that point. So a straight line is not expressible on a sphere because they have properties which are, what do they call it, incommensurable.
What's equidistant?
The same distance from all points.
Equal distance.
Yeah, so the radius of a circle, right?
Yeah.
All points on the circle are the same distance from the center.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so if you drew a line from a point, all points on that line would not be the same distance from that point. So like the center of the line would be the different distance than the ends of the line. Because that would make a triangle. So that would make a triangle, right? So say you have a line, the point to the center of the line is the side of the triangle, but the point to the end of the line is the hypotenuse, which is longer than the side.
I'm more of a visual learner. Can you draw it out for me on Paint, like live stream Paint?
Just draw a triangle, dude.
Okay, draw a triangle. Like, I really am a visual learner, so like these words, like it's really hard for me to visualize a lot of these things.
Yeah, this is a hard topic to discuss because a lot of it's geometry.
I'm trying to learn some maths here, and I'm learning maths and science at the same time. I'm getting bombarded, like information overload. I'm like, damn, I'm trying my best, bro. I'm trying my best to defend my religion right now.
So draw a line, draw a point that's not in that line, then draw two lines that meet that line, and then measure those two lines, and they'll not be the same distance.
Wait, you want me to actually draw it out now?
Aren't you the one who said it?
Can you draw it out for me?
No, you can do it yourself.
I'm in bed right now.
He's trying to waste our time.
No.
Give him the triangle test. Maybe he doesn't know what a triangle is.
A triangle has like three sides, doesn't it? Yeah.
You sure? Are they straight?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're angled, aren't they? But they're straight.
Okay. So when you do celestial
navigating, 30-degree angles, all three sides. Like
so hold on. Go ahead and look in the side chat and answer that question.
All right, give me a second.
The figures below are not triangles.
Oh shit. D wouldn't be a triangle, would it?
I'm not answering your questions. You need to answer the questions.
Not triangles. C is a triangle for sure. A is a triangle for sure. B is probably a triangle. I'd assume it is. I don't think D is a triangle though.
B is.
What's your answers?
So A, B, and C are triangles.
Nope, I posted the answers.
No. B is not a triangle, dude. Seriously.
No, I was questioning about B, bro. I didn't think B was a triangle. I said maybe.
Is that what you said, though?
You couldn't say no. You were all confused by that one. This is how we know that the mind virus got you guys. You don't even know what triangles are anymore.
No, like, I was thinking maybe B could be a triangle. I don't know if it had to be straight line.
You didn't know if triangles had straight sides.
You don't know if they should be straight lines or not. That's how come you don't know.
I never thought about it. I never actually.
My 6-year-old can answer this one, buddy. My 6-year-old knows the answer to this.
I've never seen it like that though before.
By the way, speaking of a 6-year-old, this is a 2nd grade test.
Okay. Well, I've never seen a triangle like B anyway.
So
I've only
then
seen A and C. Is this like the common test you give to like Globers or something? What did Globers usually say?
It's one of them.
Yeah. No, children.
Wait, why did Globers say B then?
Because your minds are warped.
Answer the question instead of obfuscating. Because they failed 2nd grade geometry, dude. What? Like, what do you want to know? And by the way, your kid is advanced, DJ, because 2nd grade is 8 years old.
But there are people out there that can answer the question and believe in a globe successfully, though.
Not in here. They haven't been able to.
That's in here.
Not one of them.
So they believe they can't do geometry, but they believe in a globe. Exactly. That's our point.
But like you're talking to me, bro. Like I'm not the best representation of like globe Earth, bro. Like I'm like if you compare me to like a preacher, and like some guy just joined the religion. I'm the guy who joined the religion, bro. Like I didn't think about it until I went onto this VC.
Trying to get you out of the religion, you goofball. Globe is
like getting out of the religion is so detrimental.
Globe is a religion.
Yeah, we know you're not a priest of the religion. We actually argue with the priests of the religion. That's why we know all this stuff.
Are they successful ever? Like in the debates?
No. 10 years later, none of them have brought any evidence. They've all brought the same evidence as the average globe believer.
Yeah, it doesn't matter their level of education. PhDs in physics, astrophysics, astronomy. We've talked to them all, and they also do not know what a triangle is.
Okay.
I think it's the indoctrination. The further and further you go in the indoctrination, they've forgotten all this basic stuff they learned early on, and now they're deep in the indoctrination and the story, and they're just building on the story. They're not actually working within the really is or reality. They're just looking at the sky and making up stories.
Well, let's illustrate the problem. Were you educated in America, dude?
No, I was educated in Australia, though. In Australia.
He's not educated.
Okay. Tell me what subject in school you know that you learned the most. That you know the most about, in the most detail.
I'm pretty good at history.
Okay. So you probably learned about, well, you referenced Julius Caesar. So you know quite a bit about the Roman Empire?
Basics. I've mostly forgotten, though, most of the information there. I know a bit more about modern history.
So if you quizzed a bunch of people about the Roman Empire, you'd get a variation of people's knowledge, depending on how much more they learned. And if they like specialized it in school, they might know like a little bit more if they like were a history major or something. The thing about the globe is, no matter who we talk to, it's the same answers that you would give in 6th grade. It does not matter what their level of education is. They could be a fucking practicing physicist for 30 fucking years. They give the answer from 9th grade.
I think it's because no one thinks about it until questioned.
Why?
That's part of it.
Because it's important, right?
Okay, guys.
Knowing where you are could be very important, right? Like, where am I? Like, that could be. It's more important than what they were doing in the Roman Empire.
I guess in this scenario,
you don't have to care about the social stigma either, because you know how the globers act. They don't talk about the globe normally, so you don't have to talk about the Earth being flat normally. You can just interact with the globers as normal and have a normal, great time. But now you actually understand more things, and you notice somebody saying something, and you're like, hey, you're talking about this? And now you two can talk about it, and it turns out, Ella, he's a flat earther as well. And you start just finding flat earthers randomly everywhere. Because if you're close to it and you don't look, you're not going to see anything. But once your eyes are open, you just start seeing stuff everywhere.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. I was going to take a picture like 3 days ago. I was walking down the street, and there was a plumbing truck, and it was Global Plumbing, and they had a picture of a globe on the side of it. I have no idea what plumbing has to do with a globe, because they don't even believe in level water.
Ouch.
Like, do you see how it's taking over your life in that scenario? I'm not trying to say it's bad to like realize the truth.
No. My point is that once you realize the Earth is flat, then you see all the places that this globe idea is pushed on people, on things that are completely unrelated to the topic. The imagery is just spammed everywhere. It's everywhere, on the side of buses, on the side of plumbing trucks. It's on TV. Everywhere you look, anywhere you look on the internet, they're talking about space, or astronauts, or globes, and none of it has anything to do with daily life, right? And none of that has anything to do with daily life.
Fuck.
It's not how I feel. It's what they're doing to you, to your brain. It's turning it to mush.
I don't even see it anymore, dude.
Like, you're so invested into it, though.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
do you get tired sometimes?
Imagine they took some idea, right? Some random idea, and just it was everywhere. Like, imagine Santa Claus was on everything all the time.
I'll get pissed, bro. I'll be pissed. I'll be livid.
This is the same type of thing, right?
Well, like, I feel like there'll be more people against Santa Claus everywhere. But
you're an idiot.
How do you feel, though?
The troll is failing.
Why are you asking me how I feel?
Like, I'm going now down to the. How do you feel?
I'll tell you how I feel. I feel great.
I don't have any feelings. I don't have any feelings about it other than pity.
But like, how do you?
I pity people that come in here.
Wouldn't you be happier if you stayed around?
I'm perfectly happy.
Unbothered, moisturized, happy, in my lane, focused, flourishing.
Why would I pity? Yeah, why would I pity you guys? Think about it for a second. Because you have to believe that you're fucking delusional.
I never thought about it until I spoke to you.
And you're defending an idea that isn't even yours, but you feel compelled to defend it for some reason.
Indio, they love being, what it is they have to accept that they are delusional just to believe in that shit, especially after coming in here. Now they have to walk around all the time knowing that it's flat. It has to be a ball, but they know it's flat, but it has to be a ball because they're space pictures, and they know that they're delusional now. And so now they have to deal with that. After coming in here, it usually ruins people.
Yeah, there's two ways to go from here. You're either gonna break and become more invested in your globe and gonna become more crazy. We have many examples of those. Or you're gonna start thinking about things, and if you start thinking about things, you have two options. You can either just go back to your life and live life as normal, because this isn't gonna affect you in a lot of ways, because you always lived in the Earth being flat and stationary. That's always how your experience was.
You guys got to be LARPing, right? This is just a LARP.
Window.
Why are you interrupting him?
Sorry, but like this can't be real. Like you can't be serious.
It's gotta be real. It's gotta be a LARP, right?
Asparagus.
That's what you sound like,
Fully invested in delusion.
So just talk to that guy.
Like, I'll be honest, you guys got me like thinking way more about things in general.
Mr. Regan, the agents will plug you back in the Matrix because the steak is juicy and delicious.
Damn, bro! I know. Every time I mention ignorance is bliss, I think of that one. I think of that one scene. Whenever I mention that phrase, "ignorance is bliss," like, damn, that steak looked really good in the Matrix.
Check this out. The guy that just came in here spurring out, he's an agent, dude, trying to plug you back in, dude.
Yo,
he can't deal with it, dude. You like,
I love these
fuck,
analogies.
the agent took me over. Like, you plug him back in. Stop it, you fucking people that are trying to escape the Matrix.
This can't be real. Yeah, your DMs are gonna start blowing up next.
No, I'm curious. Like, this is not that related, but like, do you guys have wives? Like, if I was come flat earth, I kind of have a wife, I'd imagine.
Yeah, mine's an RN. She's at work right now. She's a nurse, RN.
That has nothing to do with flat earth. That has everything to do with your inability to talk to women.
But like, most women out there would get turned off from you. Not like in sexual, I mean like in the romance, but where as soon as you mention you believe in flat earth.
Is that why we have a ladies' night every week?
Yeah, that's
you
just
have a
not
ladies'
true.
night?
My wife thinks you Globers are absolutely insane. She listens to this from the other room sometimes, and I go out there and she's laughing. I can't believe they actually believe that stuff.
Yeah, the thing is, women don't like it when you just go like, sound like a crazy person, and you're like, oh, this flat, blah, 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 blah. Nobody's telling you to go do that. That would be really bad dating advice. However, women actually love an intelligent man who understands them and understands the world around them and can help them understand things. So if you are just intelligent and teach them stuff, they have no problem with that. And then if they can see how dumb these Globers are, they also think that's hilarious. There's no problem. Like, I've never had a problem.
Okay. When did you guys what was the aha moment for you? You guys became a flat earther. Like, what was that final straw that pushed you to that belief? And like, were you already married when you went to go believe in flat earth? And like, did you have to convince your wife? I'm kind of curious on how to scenario like that.
Those are nosy,
dude.
No, I'm just curious. I want to understand you guys' lives.
Stop talking into your pillow.
We're just normal.
Bro,
We're just normal people, bro.
We're like pillows sitting on the side of my bed, bro.
You're asking a giant group of people personal questions. Like, it's such a mixed bag because we have people of all ages, people who are married, people who were married, people who haven't been married yet.
Some people on Discord don't mind sharing.
This is so irrelevant to anything.
All right. We'll go back to the actual show.
Wearing your tinfoil hat.
All right.
Yeah. Your pop sociological analysis is doomed to failure.
Okay. So, to my understanding, we don't have a model or a map. There's that or something like that.
Yeah. So models are for. Let's get this right. Models are for phenomenon, like things that happen, right? We have a model. Like if I want to shoot a projectile out of a cannon, we have a model for that, right? Because the thing is going to take a trajectory and it's going to land somewhere. We model how that would happen, right? That's a model. A map is a different thing. And maps themselves are use specific. So there's topographical maps, right? If I want to map a road atlas, right? It's a map of the roads. Doesn't show the mountains, doesn't show the lakes, right? It'll give you the road distances, but it doesn't give you the distance as the crow flies. Right? So like the maps have a particular use. And they're made for that use. And when you accentuate from one use, it's going to be inaccurate for other uses. We don't navigate long distances with maps. We use the celestial sphere. We use the sky.
We use the sky to navigate the Earth. Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, we
I've
use
always wondered how to do it.
That has straight sides.
I've always wondered how to navigate the Earth.
You're not going to understand it because it requires triangles.
Well, like, does that mean I'm unable to learn? Like, I can learn what a triangle is. I can learn that triangle. But Okay. So I understand the map dilemma. Okay.
What dilemma?
Okay, I actually don't understand it. That was a lie. That was a lie. I understand the map scenario. We track shit with celestial bodies in the sky. We have a
Okay,
model.
let's say I gave you a map of the United States, and you were going to use that to go from New York to California. How would you do that? How would you use that?
How would I use it? Okay. I'll just head straight west, bro.
How do you know you're going west?
Yeah, isn't the sun thing? What was it, like rising
Oh,
east?
the sun, not the ground. Not the ground. The sun.
Yeah, I'll use the sun.
Yeah, the celestial sphere.
Okay.
So that's what we're talking about. The way people actually navigate in practice, we use the sky.
Okay.
The sky's not the ground. Right.
Okay. Like, can we like tell the Earth is like a sphere from like the sky as well? I don't know what event happened. I think it's a lunar eclipse where we can see like the shadow of the Earth.
How do you know it's the shadow of the Earth?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. Can I tag? I'm gonna tag you into this.
Yeah, I think somebody DM'd him.
Actually,
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to Professor Phil.
He's talking about his friend Yui Rab.
All right. Okay, so how do I know it's a shadow?
Yeah.
How do I know it's a shadow of the Earth? But what else would it be?
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to ask me a question. You're not going to answer.
But how can I answer it, bro?
What's your claim, man? If you don't have an answer, that's it. That's the end of it.
What could it be, bro? Is it my penis? What is it up there?
Answer the question honestly, like you would anything else. If you know, say I know. If you don't say I don't know. Answer it honestly.
Well, AV, you got to do something about that background noise. Dude,
it's brutal today.
You're just a fucking globe troll. I've been right this whole time.
What background noise?
Yeah, AV sounds like he's right next to a jet engine, but Cull, if you look in the text chat, you can see the Selenelian eclipse, where the sun and the moon are both above the horizon, and what you believe is Earth's shadow comes onto the moon from above. So how can that be Earth's shadow?
I don't know what this eclipse is. It's the first time seeing it.
It's funny that you have to hear about it from flat earthers, isn't it?
Yeah, like I don't know why I don't know about this one. I only know about lunar solar.
It's an interesting phenomenon.
This is a lunar eclipse.
Yeah, so here's the geometric problem, just so you understand it. The light source is above your head. The thing that's getting the shadow cast on it is above your head. The thing that's supposed to be casting the shadow is below your feet. How does that work?
Can you repeat that, please?
The light source is above your head, higher than your head.
Yeah.
The thing that has a shadow cast on it, what you think is a shadow, the moon, is also above your head. But the thing that's casting the shadow is below your feet. How can the thing that's below your feet get in the way of something that's above your head? The answer is it can't. That's it. It can't.
I didn't want
impossible.
I didn't want to submit to it can't right away, but I can't answer it.
It's a geometric impossibility.
Yeah, that's why the globe priests who witnessed this said, well, we believe in the globe, so we dub this eclipse, this type of eclipse, the impossible eclipse.
The impossible. So globers don't believe in that eclipse you showed?
No, they call this eclipse, this type of eclipse, the impossible eclipse because geometrically it just doesn't work.
How do we get this condition to see the eclipse like that?
It happens with every eclipse. You just have to be in the right position on the surface.
I've never seen an eclipse before.
The Earth is not flat.
Yo, yeah?
Bro, the Earth is not flat. He's talking shit.
Yeah.
Wallah, I was just on a plane. I was just on a plane, bro. I saw the curve.
No, you didn't.
Say Wallah, you did, bro.
Wallah, I did, bro. These guys are bullshitting.
No,
bro, I'm at Singapore. I'm about to go to Dubai. You guys are still talking about flat Earth. You fucking losers, bro.
Yeah, okay.
That's
you
hilarious.
didn't see. So it's funny that you have to come in here and lie, saying you
What do
saw
you mean
curves on
lie? How about you hop on a plane and find out yourself, bro? You're sitting in your room all day.
Spent many hours in planes. There's no curved horizon.
Yeah, same. Also, it's too low to the ground to be able to see the horizon curve. Either he's hallucinating because he's on something, or his belief in the globe is so strong that he's basically hypnotizing himself and seeing it curve.
Or he's lying, which is the one I pick.
Yeah, that's one.
Tricked by curved windows.
Inside the plane.
That's another one. So, not Earth curve.
Okay.
So you think you can see Earth curve 10 miles above an 8,000 mile diameter ball? That's what you're trying to tell us. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Not many images of a curving Earth for some reason. I searched up curved Earth. It doesn't show many images. Okay. Why don't you guys go into academia and get actual research funded for this stuff?
What's there to research? It's already flat.
Well, you want to prove it, so
it's already been
has been proved. It's been measured.
you want to convince people now. You want to cause a paradigm shift. So you gotta.
No, we're not trying to convince people.
Every day. Yeah, you prove it's flat by yourself every day.
See, this is why you guys screw up. You think we're trying to convince you or not? We're just giving you information. What you do, we're not trying to replace the globe by brainwashing you into believing flat Earth inside of a globe. We want you to go, hey, this globe thing, these guys are just giving me information, which, if true, means that the Earth is not a globe. Now I'm going to go test it myself and figure out what the truth of the matter is. And not trust anybody.
Okay.
Because you can test it yourself, dude. You don't have to rely on us. We're not saying trust us. You can go out. The globe should be easily measurable according to what they say. The horizon distance, very simple formula, 1.22 miles times the square root of the observer height in feet, right? So 1.22 multiplied by the square root of the height, right? So 1 foot. 1 foot observer, horizon should be 1.22 miles away. Very simple. Right, so you can use this formula and see, is there actually a globe out there in reality?
Look at these plane images.
And there isn't one. That's what we're trying to tell you. The rhetoric does not match the physical and natural world when tested. Nobody.
Those are
It's
nice
just that
mountains.
you guys just never checked. It's that simple. I checked. A lot of people in here, we checked, dude. And we're just telling you, hey, dude, it's not a globe. We checked. You go check. You'll see it's not a globe. And you'll be in here freaking yelling at the other people, yelling at other globers. If you go check.
I gotta go check now. What should I do? You told me to grab a telescope to get the sun, but I'm gonna go blind if I do that.
No,
I didn't say that. I said go look at the horizon. Take your telescope down to the beach and pan your way around the horizon. Work out
and then find objects that I know the height of, and I get a distance of it.
The distance too, yeah. Look at the thing. Look at things that you know the distance of. Compare it to the claims.
Okay.
The closer you get to the surface, the crazier it is. We've got ones where I've got a camera 3 inches above the surface of a lake. What's that?
Would it have to be like a sea level or something? Does that make a difference?
Height is a component.
Yeah, it'd have to be like a
0.22
zero,
times the square
wouldn't
root.
Yeah, you can make the observation from any height. You can just you account for it in the calculation because there's people
What's the
on the internet.
calculation for it?
Well, if you go to calculate what the globe predicts,
How can I? What can I
Info in the
search?
side chat. It gets
So
even
for a
more
six-
absurd as you get closer to the surface.
yeah. So for a 6-foot observer, the horizon should be 3 miles away, and a point 10 miles away, the ground should be 66 feet over the curve of the Earth, right? So if you had a 66-story building 10 miles away, you shouldn't be able to see it. And it gets exponentially worse. So 30 miles away, you shouldn't be able to see a 42-story building. And you know goddamn well, you can see a 42-story building 20 miles away.
Yep, that is right.
Yeah, with a
So
globe
I wouldn't be able to see one if I was that far away.
If you were on a globe, you wouldn't be able to see a 42-story building from 30 miles away.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, I'm being serious.
I'm pretty sure I've seen my city. Most of the
Sure you
buildings.
have.
Yep.
I'm sure you.
Yep,
Sure
I
you
guess
have.
the Earth is flat then.
Like, isn't that just a maybe misunderstanding of the calculations? Like, these is pretty complicated stuff by the sounds of it.
Yes, you totally misunderstand it.
This is what I'm talking about.
This is a common first reaction.
Wait.
It's not. It's actually. Hold on, dude. It's actually not complicated math. It's 9th grade algebra.
How can I get the distance in Google Maps real quick? Is there a way I can do that? How do I do
Dude,
this?
we're not training you on Google Maps.
God, bro. Wait, one second.
You can play around with Earth curve calculators.
Alright.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Most likely, Cull, you have seen things you shouldn't have been able to see on the globe, and there are countless things that you just didn't think about, you just saw, or you assumed that was somehow worked on the globe, and you thought it was just all good. But that's because your eyes are closed to this. Once you understand the metrics of the globe, how far you should be able to see, you start seeing different things. You start realizing, wait a minute, that lighthouse is like 10 miles away from my current location. Why am I seeing all of it down to the base where it connects into the water? I shouldn't be seeing, like, except maybe the top of it here.
Yeah, and I should point out that this happens so often that people see things and they don't realize that they're not even supposed to be seeing that if the Earth was a globe. So the National Geospatial Agency, which thinks the Earth is a globe, obviously, right? Geospatial, in their Southern Ocean Sailing Guide, it says it is because of the clean air in the Southern Ocean, it is not uncommon for you to see mountains 300 miles away. If you stick 300 miles from 100-foot observer height, right? No boat is really taller than 100 feet, right? So the mountain would have to be 9.75 miles tall to see, but Mount Everest is only 5.25 miles tall. So what mountains are they seeing from 300 miles away on the globe?
Alright.
But they print this in their official publication. This is what I'm telling you. But they didn't. The people that they have the reports of what people see, but it never occurred to them that the sailors aren't supposed to see that.
Drawing a diagram. I'm drawing an annotated map real quick. I'm annotating the map. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. You guys more smart than me.
I think we're about to get the second NPC reset right now. He's gonna make a map argument again.
I uploaded it. How do I upload min images? Wait, why can't I upload an image?
Why can't you upload what?
I can't post an image, but everyone else can.
I don't know. We don't have complete control. We don't have complete control of the server. It might be something with the server roles or something. I'm not sure. We don't control that. We can't change any roles or anything. So if you can't post anything,
it actually sucks.
You gotta take it up with the server mods, not the channel mods. The server mods.
Anyone here from Victoria?
Who's that?
No.
Like
you can send me the image. You can send me the image if you want.
I'll send you it. I want you to tell them. Would I be able to see the city from that distance?
Yeah, so if you look at what I posted in the side chat before, at 43 after the hour, it's an Earth curve calculator, so you can work out the distance that you made your observation, and then you can punch in the numbers, right? You can put in the distance from point A to point B, and it'll tell you how much it should be obstructed, and it should tell you how far away the horizon should be if you put in your observation height as well.
I sent a friend request. I'll look at that calculator real quick. Hopefully I'm not doxing myself accidentally.
No one cares, dude.
Like where I live?
Yeah, we don't care.
But like, what if someone comes to my door and like threatens to kill me one day? Can you see that image I sent?
This is why we can't have nice things. Because he's an idiot.
A break is better than most.
How do I... Why is this captcha so difficult to complete?
Maybe you're a robot.
Well, I'm actually confused. What is this captcha? I've never seen this before.
Give him a break. He's new at captchas.
What? I've never seen this one before. This method of... What is this captcha method? Please click on the shape with the fewest holes? Oh, that's simple. That's a read it. How am I struggling with this? Have you guys done that captcha before with the shape with the fewest holes? Alright, so you got the image, DJ? My boy DJ, you got the image?
What image are you talking about?
Yeah, one second.
That distance there, I think, is like... I'm gonna guess like 60 kilometers at least.
Yeah, okay, so I'll help you out with the
would I be able to see the city from there?
I'll check. One second, I'll just post what you posted in the side chat.
Like, on a flat Earth, it should be totally visible, the entire city, from that distance there.
No, you're wandering into the fallacy of the single cause. There's multiple things going on.
But like
how far could you see when it's foggy?
Bro.
How far could you see when it's foggy? How far can you see when it's foggy?
But like, would I be able to see anything? Like the calculation, the entire city should not be there.
You're looking across Port Phillip or something.
Yeah. Like, okay, sometimes it's foggy. Let's say I go on a clear day. Okay, sometimes it's foggy. Let's say I go on a clear day.
You should go on a clear day. Have a look.
Have you done that yourself?
Yep. I was the one telling you. It was the first thing I did when I started taking this topic seriously. I took my telescope down to the beach, had a look around. I could see 40 Ks, 60 Ks.
Are you an Aussie, Emma?
Yeah.
Alright. So, from Port 40 Winton.
You're speaking through a pillow or something.
Laying face down in your pillow again.
Well, I'm actually relaxing so much in my pillow right now.
Yeah, but we can't hear you. It's very muffled.
Is the mic getting muted? Sorry, my bad. So, would I be able to see any of the city from that distance according to a globe Earth?
So if it's 60 kilometers away and you're observing from 6 foot height, then it should be, there's 770 foot approximately of obstruction over that distance.
Okay. What's 770 foot into meters?
It's taller than the world's tallest building.
Okay, so I wouldn't be able to see any of the city from that distance.
238 meters.
I think our tallest building isn't like that. I think it barely reaches that. I don't know what the Eureka sky.
And you don't just see one building, right? You see like a whole skyline.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So if I also go to
Some
that
of those
distance,
buildings are quite
most of the
short.
skyline would be gone, according to the globe Earth. Allegedly.
Yeah, and the horizon should be at 3 miles, right? So yeah, everything beyond 3 miles would start to become obstructed.
It's about 40 k's from Port Arlington.
Yeah. I think that distance is more than like 30
in a
miles.
straight line, it's about 40 k's. It's 40 kilometers.
That's enough to be able to
20.
Then you go further.
Well, it depends on your height when you're making this observation. If you get right down on the beach.
Yeah, I go down right to the beach. I even go to Port C. Port C is further away. Or Sorrento. We got Sorrento? Isn't that like in Italy or something?
That's like 56. That's 56.
And I wouldn't be able to see most of the skyline at that point. Okay.
Not if the ground's curved.
Okay. So, how can I tell if it'll be a clear day?
Just go multiple times. Winter. It's lucky it's winter, so it tends to be a bit clearer. Got smog to deal with, I guess. After a good rain, a nice sunny, clear, cold day.
Okay, I'll bring binoculars. And I'll grab a bunch of my boys. I'll grab Ehab as well. Also grab Yui as well. We'll check it out, and I don't know.
Report back.
I'll do some research on the side for why the Earth is a globe, and I think it's past my bedtime now.
Right on.
And I'm gonna let Yui take over now.
Yui just bailed.